I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
What the hell's going on out here?
Two L's, one pod. We're the spinoff of the web series, The Two Dicks. We were the Talking Dicks. And now we're two L's, one pod. I'm Al Romas. We're leaving Coco Cay, actually, as we speak. I'm on the Oasis of the Seas. Been here all fucking summer. And that's Al Ducharme. He's on the Adventure of the Seas. I don't know where they are. They're somewhere.
I'll tell you.
Carib?
You want me to tell you? The Carib.
Please.
We're anchored off of Belize, where they are tendering the passengers ashore to do all their excursions. And it's a cruise ship, and we have some extra elbow room. And I'm not going to Belize. Been there many times. No, thank you.
No, Belize is one of those ports with when a port has wrought iron gates to get into the outside of the town, I stay inside, because when you put wrought iron gates up, that's a warning to telling me there's some shit out there. You don't need to go out there.
I've overnighted here, and it's like going through Beirut.
I know that hotel too, that Radisson, and I went and ate dinner there one night in the bar area, and it was a Thursday night. I remember specifically because I think you would enjoy this. And I was sitting there having a little dinner, and there were no women. It was 9 or 10 or maybe 11 guys. And then the night went on, and there were 20 guys, and there were 30 guys.
Yeah.
And I talked to the bartender. I go, "Hey, what's going on here?" He goes, "Yeah, it's gay. It's gay. It's a gay bar tonight."
Yeah, that's why they booked you.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll let Al know when his next stay.
I say,
but yeah, the Radisson in Belize on Thursday is Homo Central. So
yeah. They say, do not venture out when you can stay in. All right.
That's right. That's right. But today we have a special pod, a special episode.
It is. We've done this before half a dozen times or so. We have a guest where the other host, the other Al, has no idea who the guest is. And what we do is we play Guess the Guest.
Guess the guest.
So here's how it works. We have a 30-second clock, and we give you 3 clues, and you have to guess who the guest is. Are you ready? Because the person is waiting off camera. Here in my
I'm ready to guess the guest. Let's begin.
Okay, here's your first clue.
Is it Mark Preston?
What the fuck?
You are good. Holy crap.
I am good, and I could see you in the mirror there next to Al. You were sitting on the bed, and I go, that looks like international singing sensation Mark Preston.
It wasn't me. That was not me in the mirror. I'm a vampire.
That was not.
I couldn't see it.
It looks a lot like Mark Preston. I remember from our cigar herfs and back in the day. I haven't worked with you in God, I don't know when, but the herfs were the last time I saw you. So
a year and a half ago.
At least.
Yeah.
Long time. Long time.
At least, yeah. Well, good to see you, Mark, and thanks for joining us on a quick Guess the Guest. That was fairly easy with seeing you in the mirror. So
I mean, after all of this, it's quick. I've been waiting for 45 minutes.
Well, the listeners don't. The listeners
I
don't
got
really.
important things to do, man. I can't.
They don't need
sit here fucking around.
When is your next show?
Like next Tuesday.
All right. When is your show?
I heard a rumor that Al Ducharme needed a little help this week.
They
asked him to a lot of shows, and somebody, a singer named Mark Preston, is going to be helping Alfredo out a little bit.
Come in
which
to
is
the farewell
nice.
show. It's a variety show, and he's going to do at least 2 numbers.
2. No, I wanted to do 3, and they said no. How about you just do 1? And so we mediated to 2. So they don't know it yet, but I'm actually gonna stick.
And your shows are finished for the week, Mark. You've done your headliner spot.
I'm a dirty what?
You've done your headliner spot already. You're already
I'm done. Yes,
yeah, you're on day 2.
Yeah, I was the first one out of the hopper, so it went fun. Nice people. Okay. This is a great ship, and I didn't see him do his opening night spot. I got to watch him on TV the next day
with
no audience.
No audience audio.
They're still doing that on that has to end. That I thought that ended when they would film the opening act and put it on the TV, and the crowd's not mic'd. No. So everyone watches TV, and it's like, oh, look at the comedian bomb. It
Look
makes
at him
no sense.
rehearsing. He looks like he's rehearsing in the mirror.
Yeah, it's makes no sense at all. I thought that was over.
No,
I think this ship is way behind because here's intros for both of us. Mine was like 12, 15 years old, something they grabbed off the internet and put it
Right.
on. And then he tried to blame it on. He said, "Oh, that's what they sent." I'm like, "No, they didn't," because I've been
Right.
on the ship with my current. I was here a year ago and I had my latest intro.
Yeah. Yeah, they do grab them in the comedy club. They'll grab your whole bio, and then they read. The cruise director reads it recording. So the audience is sitting there for 3 minutes listening to. He was on Evening at the Improv in 1993. It's like, who gives a shit? So I just told them, get rid of that and just put, open bar and 2 L's, 1 pod. That's it. And I'm working with Jim David this week, and he didn't know about that. So now we're in the comedy club, and he's got the Jim David bio for 5 minutes while we're
No,
waiting to start. Oh, it's
Pre-recorded?
ridiculous. It's
pre-recorded.
pre-recorded. Yeah, they just grab it off the internet.
Who's the
and,
CD?
I'm
Who's-
sorry.
Who's
The
the
CD, Elvis, something Elvis.
oh baby, ow! He's too busy taking that childproof cap off that bottle, baby.
That's-
I've left the building. I'm dead.
This is more of a Spanish speaking Elvis. Mark's gonna get us canceled. I love it.
We're trying to get canceled.
I know. That's what I said. I love it.
I've been
Just
doing
go
this
for
for
it.
3 years, and it's an abundance of work and post, and I would love to be canceled.
You notice how big
Yes.
my forehead is? Have you looked?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ!
it's a lot.
The size of his forehead. You can show
A
movies
ball cap.
with this thing.
A ball cap next time you're on camera, sir. Just a
I
pro
have
tip.
one. I
There
have
you go.
one right here. I'll give it to you.
I
No,
want
you don't
the-
want to. We don't want the Ducharme hair loose. Is not good. He has to prep all that. That's. Oh, here he comes. He's back.
Yeah,
Hope you're on Patreon, folks. You really want to see what's happening here. But we've got Mark Preston. He give us a little bio, Mark. We don't know. I mean, I know you, and I know your career, but give the listener a little taste, a little bio of Mark Preston.
Start back. Can you start back with?
You don't have enough time.
Wait a minute. Let's start. Let's start with this.
Yes.
The man has served like yourself
Uh huh.
in the Air Force.
Air Force.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. I don't know. Why was that? That was that might have been in his bio that I asked him to deliver. I don't know.
Well,
if
that's in the super long bio, the one that nobody
Okay.
reads.
right.
On the website. That's I've been at it a while. That's that's enough.
But you've been at it. But you were in a very famous band. You were in a
I was
group.
I was with the Letterman, the singing group, the Letterman, for a number of years, and we had some hit records, and
Mhm.
a couple of years ago we got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Vocal Group Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
kind of stuff, and my forehead's too goddamn big. Can you give me a hat?
Get a hat. Get the man a hat.
You're gonna have to
Jesus.
change the lighting here for.
I
Christ's sake.
hope you're on Patreon, folks. This head is. I got to agree. It is.
There.
large.
Is that better?
Well,
There
That's
now.
better. That's better.
Yeah, it's at least the lighting. We're not doing that, and so I do
Yeah.
the hand thing. That's good. That'll work.
There you go. All
Yeah,
right. So Mark,
I've been very lucky with stuff that I've done in my life. I'm truly been in the right place at the right time through my whole career, and I'm pushing 70, and we're still
doing good.
we're still fooling them. Thanks.
And
Yeah,
you carried the
That's all
Letterman.
we're doing.
You got the Letterman to make that transition into another level of the Letterman.
I guess.
They pumped some young blood in there, and
Yeah, back in the
Boom-
80s, yeah, I
booming
came in.
voice.
My buddy Donovan and I, we came in and we kind of put a little zap of new blood. But the group
Did you
is still
go?
going,
Did
know?
you go back to the Letterman a few years ago? Did
Yes.
you join? Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, I rejoined. They were after me after I left the group the first time. Over the next few years, they had a couple of cats went in the group, and the leader of the organization wasn't happy with the sound and the way things were going, and so he kept chasing me. At least once a year, every few months I get a phone call. How about next year? And I was already booked, so I couldn't do it.
Right.
And then it finally worked out in 2005. Actually, the phone call started again in 2004. And I was able to set the schedule ahead and let everybody know okay, we're going to start this and go back in 2005, and so I was able to, okay, I'm not taking any more land gigs on my own, so on and so forth. I'm going back to the group, and then it worked out, and I spent a few more years with them, and then when it's time to go, what we did and how we performed was a wonderful thing. But then things started to get a little squirrely in the business side of it, and I decided, you know what, I'll just go back to working alone. And I want to spend more time at home. We were on the road a lot, man. So
you're on the road. We're all on the road a lot. You seem like, because you see you on Facebook and you're always headed somewhere.
Yeah, what's ridiculous is I left the group so I could spend more time at home, and now I'm busier than I was.
Exactly.
It's insane.
Yeah. The great plans.
24 is already booked solid, and 23 was a great year, and 24 is good. But I can't knock wood.
Well,
life is good.
That's it. Life is good.
Solid show. It's a solid act. He delivers. He's a real showman.
Yeah.
All ages, kids, adults, the elderly, everybody's into it, because the moment he comes out, he's got you. He pulls you in.
Yeah, you're one of those guys.
What the hell are you talking about? I thought
Joey Van. Well, I was Joey Van. We're talking about, right?
Exactly. You're thinking about Bobby Armon. What the hell's going on?
I'm thinking of Joey Van.
No, he puts on. It's a concert, a one-man concert.
He's a pro. He's a pro. There's not a million pros out there anymore, or you know what I mean? There really aren't. So when you see
unfortunately,
when you see a pro, you go, "Holy shit, this guy's a professional." Look at him, and you don't worry.
Hence why his calendar is full.
Yeah, of course.
I've been able to fool them for a long time.
That's the idea.
And I've said before, I never want to be that guy that goes out there and sings like shit. And the vibrato, you can drive a truck through it. I don't ever want to be that guy, and I'll be the first one to hear that in my head.
Right.
When I'm singing, and it's just like,
you'll know when it's over.
I've been very lucky. I have a 50-year career. Let's hand the baton to the next generation of youngsters.
Don't hand it off too soon. I see what's coming.
I'm not going anywhere yet.
Not good. It's not good. Stay what you're doing.
Thank you. I'm trying.
His calendar's full. Like I said.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I got all the dates. 24 is locked up, busier than 23 was, and then
nice.
I will work at it.
Nice. And your wife's a performer. Your wife's a
singer.
She's out.
Yeah, Michelle Merlin, and she's busy. She's actually flying today on her way to join the Liberty. So she'll get on Bayonne, and then go up to Nova Scotia, and then she'll come home. She'll be home before I get back. I finish here, and then I go to the Harmony for another week.
Oh, that's right, because Liberty does the New England.
Right.
That's right. Yeah, she switched up to New England now.
And then I guess it repositions to Galveston.
I think so.
And you guys do a few shows together. I've seen some advertising. You're in Vegas together with Michelle, and
yes,
is that often? Like, how many of those can you get a year?
Not as many as we'd like. But Michelle doesn't want to work as much as I do.
Right.
I'm still out there doing what I'm doing. Excuse me, was that wrong?
Thank you. Thank you for classing up the pod.
More editing. No, that's right.
Can I put one of those in there?
My girlfriend just threw up. She hates
because that's when I saw you the other day, I see the first thing I watch is
this. He does the Paul McCartney one like this.
Yeah, McCartney's done that his whole career, and people are finally catching on that. Yeah,
for those of you that are listening, they're flipping us off with the middle fingers, and Paul McCartney, in all of his interviews, he puts his middle finger up by his eye and says, "Fuck you," pretty much.
Yeah, my buddy Greg Hess, when I was in grade school, going back, before electricity, every team picture. First of all, we had to sit there forever because they had the hood and a thing like they're taking pictures of Lincoln at the Gettysburg Address, so it'd take forever to pull.
They have a big flash,
and a big flash, and blow up. And my buddy Greg Hess, every picture he was ever in, he was flipping somebody in his baseball mitt, in his basketball uniform. He's doing it. He's holding.
That's right. Good for him.
It's hilarious. Anyway, so Michelle is she's working, and we do next year. The way it's going to work is we've got 5 dates on the schedule for next year where we're together. with
Okay.
this cruise line and then another cruise line that because they're longer cruises. Because what folks understand now, when it's just really cool, is they get 5 shows out of us and 1 cabin. Because we both have 2 separate solo shows, and then we do another one it takes 2, and then we do a bunch of duets and a couple of solos and a thing, and so you get 5 shows for 1 room. That's a happy thing. That people like that.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's not done more. I mean, Al and his wife's a comedian. They should, I mean, these couples should be doing it.
Yeah, but the thing is, she's funny, so you don't want to.
I got to go back in editing now. I got to go back and take that out.
Why? The truth is amazing. Hey, I can't follow Michelle. She's out there like, you guys are funny. I walk out there with my walker, and everybody loves it. Going, well, who's the old guy? Bring the broad back. Bring the redhead back.
You're the
That's true.
Man.
I've heard people say that.
Yeah, I got the new knees. I got no gallbladder. I got new teeth. Hair.
Holy shit! I remember during our cigar herfs during COVID, you were getting the knee surgery.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't understand. I still don't understand. You couldn't have a cigar for a month after a knee surgery, which I just never understood. But
well,
I don't understand.
It would. I guess the nicotine would interfere with the medication and stuff like that. But I don't know, because you give the certain pain drugs, but I got off of those immediately. It's just like I was back to taking aspirin and Tylenol and stuff. I didn't want to get stuck on all that oxycodone and all that garbage.
No. Yeah,
so just kind of, felt a little poopy for a while, and then we made it work. We're back on stage 3 weeks after I had surgery.
Oh wow! Holy shit! That's amazing. Yeah, those cruise lines. So you do Royal Caribbean. What other cruise lines do you work? And what do you do? Does Michelle work others, or
yes, Michelle still does time at NCL. She's Royal Caribbean, and then Regent and Oceania, is where we are. And I will go over to Carnival every now and again. I don't do. I do occasional Princess. It's been since before COVID that I had a shot at Celebrity, but I'm too old for Celebrity. They won't hire me anymore because I have gray hair. So
Which is interesting because
I've seen their audiences.
Their passengers skew older than here.
Right.
We're getting all families on these cruises, so you got
I don't know,
teenagers that are very much into him, and then post college, middle-aged, and seniors.
Yeah, so it's very eclectic, but we kind of I always try to at least keep it going where I don't have all my eggs into one basket, because all it takes is one shift change at the car wash and we're out, and then new people, whoever they are, and rightly so, will come on and they'll go, well, I'm going to bring my people over now.
That's right.
And then the old guard, we're on the outside looking in.
All of us have been victims of that.
Yeah, but it's like sports. When the new general manager comes in, he generally fires the coach and he brings in his coach and his players, and that's the way it goes. So we get it. What did you start, Mark? What year and how did that begin? You leave the Letterman and you get onto ships? Like, how does that even?
No, actually, I had always worked as a solo act before the Letterman ever came to ask me to join the group.
Okay.
And actually, the first time back in 1980 that they asked me to join the group, I said no. I turned them down. I just didn't feel I was ready. I was fresh out of the Air Force. I really didn't know what I was doing on stage yet. And the guy they wanted me to replace was a fellow named Gary Pike. And Gary was he was one of these good-looking guys. He was so good-looking, you just want to punch him right in the mouth. I mean, he was a handsome SOB.
I never felt like that.
Yeah. And so
I
didn't know what I was doing yet on stage. I was aware of the fact that I was new at this.
Right.
And so I said, thank you, no thank you. And then 4 or 5 years later, they came back to me. And then I said, okay, I'm ready. But the first cruise I ever did was in 1977. Before you were born. So it was
the Love Boat. Those were my Love Boat watching years.
Was my first ship, was the Love Boat.
That was, and then I was great because I would watch that show, and then when I worked cruises, all of a sudden I was working with Kelly Monteith, and
that's right.
People, I'd be like, hey, you were on Love Boat. I mean, this is really weird, but
she was my first ship in November of 1977. And then since that time to this present day, I've now performed on 114 different cruise ships. Woo!
Holy shit! Is that might be the record? We don't know, but
I only know of one other person, maybe.
Who could beat it?
Jeff Travasia. Jeff Travasia might be the only other guy that
Jeff
could be in there,
Travasia.
but I'm not sure. I don't know.
That's a good, yeah. I would put. I think you. I would say you, but I don't know. That's true. Jeff's been around a long time.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
Martin Lewis was around a long time. Rest his soul, magician.
Oh,
Doggone it.
Yeah. Joey Van.
Joey Van. But they were in the industry a long time, but I don't know if they had that many ships.
Well, because they had more ships that came out. Now, I mean, because Al and I, what do we have?
Right.
40 ships?
Yeah. I started counting. There was a juggler out here. I don't know if Michael is still out here, but there's a fellow named Michael James. He was the first.
I remember Michael.
That won the tall ladder, the 8 foot.
The ladder guy, yeah.
Ladder. And Michael, he said that he had done like 79 ships or something. So one day, years ago, I was sitting in the airport in St. Thomas, as we do, for 5 hours waiting for the flight to go. And I started counting them up. And at that point, I was at 77. And then since that point, now we're, whatever the math is, I was never good at ciphering, but now we added a bunch because, I mean, this line, Royal Caribbean, what, 20 ships, 26 ships in the fleet.
It's and they're building. I mean, two more coming out, this in 2024 alone. And
well, you had Icon and then Utopia and then something else. Flagenhagen is coming after that. So, whether I see them or not, I don't know. But right now we're at 100 and happy.
But you have that kind of your act, though. You can work on any ship. You can do any, which is great. You can go anywhere, work anywhere. You come out, you have this act. It's, it's a polished act, and you have a great voice. So it's, you can really go anywhere. You're like one of those guys that just, the old. I remember when I started on cruises, there were some acts. They were silent and they would dance. They would have like 7 minutes or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
But I was like, how can you work? But they were working everywhere because they could work. It didn't matter. They go to China and work. It didn't matter. They, it's silent. It's 5 minutes.
For me, that works against me is when they see my show, then they say, next time, can you work silent? Can you not sing?
I'm just being
just
nice
walk out there and mime it, wave. Don't sing anymore. And that's how it kept working because most of the shows they're silent.
That's not bad though. That's not bad. 45 minutes silent act. It's pretty good.
Bringing out kerchiefs and throwing them in the air, and I have a dead dove that I work with that I kind of pull it out by the neck and just look. There it is. You got to adjust, man.
It's no mystery.
Dead doves? Was it really? Man,
it's no mystery why you've worked. So really,
it's a mystery to me.
It's all there. You can really see it all.
Now, Wyatt, can I ask you a question unrelated? I'm just visually ADD.
We're not related.
This guy.
Why do I look taller than you when you tower over me if we stand up? What happened to your you're slouching to.
This is what.
Up, his head's going to go out of frame.
This is Al's contribution to the pod. Why are you smaller than I am?
Sorry, do you produce this? Do you do the upload? Do you do the editing, the sound?
Who's directing this?
I am. He's fucking. You were fine. Everything was fine. Al got fucking insecure because he's taller than the.
I was feeling
chair.
I was feeling good because I'm taller than you.
Yeah, it's good, Mark. Any way you want is good. Let's get to what I'm interested in here.
Yeah,
Mark,
masturbation. We're going to talk about masturbation.
Oh, not again,
boy.
When did? God damn it! When did?
3 seconds.
Let me show you something. When did you get into these, Mark? When did this?
He's got props.
When did this start for you? When did this begin?
For me,
I have a cigar for you on listening, not on Patreon. When did you start, Mark? What year? When? How was it? When did it begin, and how?
Well, my dad used to smoke a pipe, and for any time I've ever been around pipe smokers, for some reason, it always smells absolutely magnificent when they're smoking it.
Right.
That's right.
And so I picked up a pipe, because Pop used to have one. And I got a pipe, back in the 80s or something. And I went and went to the old tinder box, the store, and I got the Cherry Heigenflagen, tobacco. And it always tasted like crap. It was just awful. It just never worked. So I gave that up. And I forget where cigars came in. I really don't remember. But
In the Air Force, were guys smoking in the Air Force? That's where I had my first in the Navy.
no, I never did anything like that in the service. I was I don't no cigars, no pipes, no nothing when I was in the military.
Okay.
Didn't do it.
Yeah.
And none of the people around, because I was in the Air Force band, and so I had a bunch of musicians.
Wow.
Some of them would do
Right.
cigarettes, but for the most part, there was no pipe smoking going on or any of that stuff. So I honestly don't remember the first time I fired up a cigar.
And I have to agree with you. My Uncle Jack would smoke a pipe. So when he'd come over, I'd come in from playing outside. Your Uncle Jack isn't here. Come and we could smell it.
Yeah.
And I love the smell of it. And then
That was it.
I got one of those cheap corn on the cob pipes, and I started getting the chip
MacArthur thing.
and it was awful. I'm like, I don't want that.
It's I don't. My dad smoked pipe, cherry tobacco, the whole same story. Smelled fantastic. I tried it. Fucking horrible. I like the whole thing with it. I wish it was good because I like the pouch and the pipe and the. It's kind of and you have a little rack holding your pipes, and it's kind of a cool hobby, but it doesn't work. I don't know.
It was terrible, and I got sick of carrying pipe cleaners and cleaning out the shaft and it just I don't know.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, cigars came in, and I that probably started in the maybe early '90s, something like that.
That's when I started.
Yeah, we'd be sailing to Bermuda or something, and get a cigar. And I remember the one time I went to we were docked at the dockyard, and there was that the big shopping area right across
Bermuda,
from the dock, and there was a Cohiba in its own little box, like this little.
I was going to do a dick
box. It was $85 for the cigar, and I went, "You got to be insane! Who the hell is going to pay $85?" But people will do it. They're spending all kinds of money.
That's a bargain nowadays. I mean, with the Cuban prices and the stick, I mean, it's
it's
unbelievable.
I mean, you enjoy those fancy schmancy
I don't anymore.
boxes of Cubans.
I can't anymore. I mean, they jack those prices now that are just it's unreasonable. You can't do it. I mean, I don't know who they're for. I don't know who's buying these things, but
I don't know. I don't even do Fuentes anymore. I used to love nice Arturo Fuente, get a box of those, but that's $150.
Yeah.
So now, Big Bob Leininger, who was out here for a long time, still is. I think it's at Seaborn, whatever the line he's with.
Right.
Silver Seas. He's with Silver Seas, and he's got this thing that's called Factory Smokes.
Right.
And it's nice. It's you can buy 25 of them for $40,
right.
And because
I had one yesterday. It was nice. It was slow burner, even
nice Churchill. Nobody was canoeing. Everything was good. And it's just again, I cannot justify paying 10, 12, $14 for something literally that's going to go and smoke.
But Romas turned me on to cigarbid.com.
That's right.
And I've been getting some nice ones there for
there's great deals to be found there. But I agree, and I've switched to a cigar shop I go to at home. They have these hand rolls that are just unbelievable quality, so good. And they're like $5, and it's like, you know what? This thing lasts 2 hours. It's $5, and it's good quality though. That's the thing; it's real good quality. But if you're going to come on a ship every week and smoke, whatever 5, 6, 4, whatever, you can't be doing these expensive cigars.
Not at all.
Go broke. I mean, it's
every couple 2-3 weeks I'll order another 25 or whatever. Gary Cowan loves this CI cigar hand rolled something. He gets block of them, 80 of them for $4. I mean, it's ridiculous.
80 for $4.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Al just got hard.
And it's like factory smokes. It's a very easy smoke. Jeff Neese likes La Strella, which is another thing.
Oh yeah, I like those too.
At least come in a box. They got a nice little box. But I went through the Gurkhas. I went through Fuentes. I've done the Partagas. I've all of those things.
Sure.
Factory smokes is just fine with me because as long as I have this, I can't really taste what it sounds like after the second or third one of these. I don't even know where the hell I am, so I have no idea what I'm smoking.
I even did the Miami ones. The Miami where it's 25 for
the airport.
Yeah, $80. I did it.
Do you really did it at the airport?
Little humidor in the airport. Yeah.
Yeah, I did it. It was okay, but it was priced right for the airport.
Yeah. And what about you? When did you start doing them?
I started in the Navy. My chief was a cigar guy, So when we had, you know, I was in the radio shack for 12 hours a day, but we'd have breaks and we'd go up to the flight deck, and then he'd always be like, "Hey, anybody want a stick?" And
Yeah.
nobody, and I'd take one, and I didn't really get it, but I liked doing it with him, and so it's kind of like, "Hey, yeah, I'm smoking a cigar." But then when I got out, I didn't smoke for a few years, and then a comedian somewhere on the road had a cigar after a show and gave me one. And I
Yeah.
was like, "Well, this is pretty nice. I like this, kind of relaxing and
Yeah,
it's nice after a
exactly.
show. I like
It's an
this."
event.
So,
When I first really
Yeah.
started to get into it, again, and I don't know all that much about it. You know, I know that the different roles and the Connecticut rappers and all that kind of stuff.
sure.
But the thing is, when you're smoking a cigar, it's like going fishing. It's an event.
Right.
You're
Right.
out for the company you're keeping, the
Conversation.
people you're talking
That's
to,
it.
the stuff
Beverage.
like that. You know, it's
No,
wonderful.
it's the best. It really, it's hard to describe to people because who aren't into it, or they look at it like it's a cigarette or something, but it really is hard to describe how good, if you're good with good people, cigars, cocktail.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really the best time. You
Yeah.
know, really, entertainers, like old stories. I was with Gary last week. Cowett was here. And it was
Right.
great. We had a great week. I've been, you know, a couple, who else were the cigar guys? The new guy, Jeff Bodart, is out here. He's a cigar guy. So if you get one of those guys, it makes it a nice. Mario and Daniel had one with them.
Right.
It's just, you know, it's nice. I mean, I enjoy it, and I'm
Yeah,
always
it's
interested
kinda
in
like
people when they
so-
started.
It's a good hang. I was on Quantum the last time I was on with Bruce Gold. You know, the
Mhm.
magician, comedian magician. You know, Brucey likes a good stick. You know, so it's just, it's
Yeah.
fun. It's
That's
fun. It's like, let's go.
exactly.
The show's over. It's not a school night. We're done. You know, now let's just relax. And
Yeah, we're
pour
gonna-
an adult beverage and have a stick, and life is good.
We're gonna do that tonight with the boys, with Daniel and Mario, or Mario and
are?
Daniel. Yeah.
We are.
I'm sorry, you didn't get the invite.
News to me.
Oh, well,
Oh, I
well,
told them they're
it
gonna
wasn't
be on-
definite, Mark. It was a possible thing. We weren't sure what was going to happen, and
Yeah.
Just picture the West.
Hey, when you're with Mario and Daniel, ask them to tell you about Argentina. They're from Argentina, right?
Yes.
Is it Argentina?
Yeah,
Ask them to tell you about the Argentina pizza place.
All right.
Oh, okay.
He told
Okay.
us about the opening up for Dean Martin last night.
Yeah.
Well, I'm only kidding. Don't ask them because you're
Oh,
going to watch. There's hours of they have, you know, they're great guys, but and they would laugh. But you know, they're those kind of guys where they go, "Oh, you ever have a Argentine pizza?" And I go, "No." And they go, "Oh, you got to see it," and then they show you like 2 hours of videos. of the
Okay.
shot. And I'm like, "Oh my god!" And you're in it, and the guy's just holding the phone, and you're like, "I got to get out of here." You know what I mean? So
So we say we're allergic to pizza.
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't.
nothing. Yeah, you
Can't even
can't
look
eat
at it.
pizza.
Rebels my
I
stomach.
can't take.
Oh, it's the worst. It's
take
the worst.
cheese. Binds me
It's the
up. I
worst.
can't shit for like a month.
Yeah, I can't. The thought of it. Please stop talking about it.
That's a guy. That's why I have Velveeta, because it's cheese like substance, but
There
there's
you
no
go.
binding. There's no.
I think
it's
that's the
not
pizza.
right
I
syndrome.
think the pizza on the ship is Velveeta, isn't it? Isn't it
I think
the,
so. I
Sorrento's?
wish.
Yeah,
Sometimes I wish they would put Velveeta on it.
Whoever
No
has
shit.
the contract, that's a
I-
good.
that's a good contract. What's if you had a? I mean, you're on Royal. You love Royal. We all do.
Yes, I do very much.
But what would be your favorite? Do you have one where if you go, "Hey, Mark, I can put you on next week. I can get you on this thing," and you're like, "Oh shit, I'd love it." You don't
How
have one
about
like
this? How about Royal says, listen, we're not going to use singers and comedians anymore. We're going to have no entertainment. Where do you go?
Whoever calls.
that. So you don't really care at all.
No, I
matter.
don't. The showrooms,
See, that's.
So protective of that bank account right now. He's
But that's what's great, though.
I need
What I'm
another
saying
8
is,
months. I need
but
8.
his act. What I love about your act, though, is you don't have to worry about that. Like where me or Al would be like, I don't know, that crowd's 100 years old, or that crowd's a bunch of drunken kids. Where you're just like, I'm going to go out and do my show. It doesn't
Well,
matter. You know what I mean?
Thank you. It seems to be that way anymore, and I really don't get it because I haven't changed anything, and then all of a sudden in the last 18 months, 2 years or whatever, for some reason the same feeling. It's not the same music because I try to change it up every few months, but the show just seems to it's being accepted now. You know, better than it used to be. The reaction is it's unbelievable.
That
man.
resurgence, and I'm going to take
Bro,
your.
I'm
I
telling
felt that many times. Where I feel like my act isn't really like working at the level that it was a few years ago.
It never has.
To do some stuff. I start
Not
moving
really.
stuff around, I tweak it, and all of a sudden it breathes life into it.
Right.
And all of a sudden it's back.
When
But
is that going to begin? When's that beginning?
I have to edit again.
What the fuck? I've seen your act. I didn't know there was new breath breathed into it.
See, when I slouch down, I know he's going to swing at you. So I don't want to go
I have
there.
restless legs. I have restless legs.
He's got restless syndrome.
I
hate
think but Mark, honestly, and not to, kiss your ass, I'm just saying, I'm telling you, it's because there's so much shit out there that when you go on stage and do your act, your show, it's a pro and people respond.
Thank
Where
you.
there's so much, I've seen it. I'm telling you, it's a different thing when the pro gets up there. The crowd doesn't matter if they're young, old, jaded. They get it. They're like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. This is great.
Thank you. Like I said, I'm just I'm having, part of it, Al, is I guess because there've been like several, I guess I would say an epiphany, some things that have happened in my career over the years that I truly, and this is not me doing this or look at me I just don't feel I have anything to prove anymore. It's I have been a part of a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I'm in the Vocal Group Hall of Fame. My picture is here. My daughter likes Spotify, and there are 5 albums on Spotify that I'm on. There are albums that come out every holiday season that I'm on. It's my solo with What Child Is This, or a Christmas tune or whatever, and it's out there. And I don't feel that I need to come out here and go, hey, I don't feel that anymore.
But that's shown. I think that also the audience gets that.
I think so, and I think
they get that
part of it because it's not that I don't. Obviously, I care. I want to do the best I possibly can every time I take that stage, but at the same time, I'm not trying to prove anything anymore. It's just like, here I am. This is what I do. Come along for the ride. And luckily, they really seem to be responding to that. And it's a wonderful feeling. It really, really is. It's like for me to come backstage. And when I was on Quantum a few weeks ago, the sound guy is going, we've never heard this kind of reaction to a show before. We've never seen it. It's a standing ovation every night. It's the reaction at the end of this song and this song. And I'm going, again, I've been singing these songs for 20 years. I'm not doing anything different, man.
Right. Well,
but for some reason, thankfully, the audience is coming along. And it's a wonderful thing. Really cool.
I think that relaxed, not having to prove yourself anymore, that comes across so much. That's like when a comedian like Al and I will talk, and then I don't really give a shit about this show. This show, the crowd's going to suck. It's small. And then you go out, just have fun. Yeah. That's the best show.
Exactly.
But if you're in your head going, I got to get this laugh, then it's going to suck. But you're walking out going, I've already done it. I know what I'm doing. And that plays to the crowd.
And it's nice. All of us, we have dates on the schedule. The calendar's filling up. We got work. So it's not the pressure. It's always there, obviously, because again, we're only as good as what we did last Tuesday. But at the same time, we have established a reputation that, especially with Royal Caribbean, that we got work. It's coming. People in the office like our work. They trust our work, and we have it. So now you can go on stage and you can have fun. You can enjoy. You can relax. It's really, really cool. It's a neat thing. I feel it's like I'm back with the Letterman. Obviously, with the group, we obviously, you want to come out and you want to do the best you can. But at the same time, the audience is full of people that specifically came to see you. So now that level of pressure is off. We, our past, our history, our, number of albums we've done, we've already proven ourselves. We just have to come out and do the best we can and do a good show for everybody,
Do you run into Letterman fans on the ships?
Very much so. I had several of them when I was talking to Mario and Daniel today. 3 or 4 people came up, and one guy in particular, I was just getting a cup of coffee, and he said, my mom, the first album she ever bought was you guys.
Wow.
And so I wanted
And he
to
was 80.
come up and meet
God,
you
that's
after the show, and she went, "Oh no, 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 no!" She was all like afraid to come up, and he's going. I said, "For God's sakes, you know, I'm having a cup of coffee. It's the middle of the afternoon. Just
Right.
say hi. You know, it's
Yeah.
it just it's a wonderful thing. Another fellow a couple of weeks ago, he was a Vietnam vet, and he, you know, and I'm going to try to not get emotional about this, but he came to me after the show, and I'm doing autographs and CDs, and he just said, we would come back from patrol. We had just been in a firefight in the jungles of Vietnam, and we would put on Letterman music that would bring us back to earth, that would help us relax after it was over. You guys meant so much to us over there, and it's just like, man, when you hear something like that,
Right. Well, that's
how can you not be grateful?
Mission accomplished.
right.
It's unbelievable stuff. One guy at a concert, a Letterman concert, gave me a watch, and this is it's not Pulp Fiction time, but he gave me a watch, and he said, my buddy wore this watch, and he used to listen to the Letterman all the time. We want you to have it.
Wow.
And, you know, again,
That's
this Milwaukee,
that's
this
great.
is legitimate. Here, we want you to have it, and it's in the offices of the Letterman. We put it in a box, had it mounted. You know, it's phenomenal. That's what makes it, again, as corny as it sounds. My God, that's what makes this worthwhile.
Yeah,
it really is, because you never know who's out there. Al can tell a joke. You can tell a joke. You can take people away from the day-to-day crap, and you let them relax and forget about the trouble and the, you know, sickness and the injury and the unemployment. We can help them forget about that stuff. It's a wonderful part of this business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't know if
I think we're picking up on this. We're pulling up Anchor right now. Is that what that is?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't hear it. I don't hear it here.
No. Again, the reward, what you just said, that whole reward about being able to make people feel or reminisce or feel good.
Yeah,
that's our job.
I mean, you guys have you've gone out and you work for the troops and things like that, and it's that you know, that 60 minutes of, I don't have anybody shooting at me. You know, I don't have any issues in my life. I can forget it, and it'll be there when I'm done. It's not, you know, silly. That shit's gonna still be there, but for now, I can forget about it, and that's why we're here. What we do.
And it's true when you say about you never know who's in the crowd, and we've all had that kind of thing where you meet someone after the show and they tell you something like that, and you just go, holy shit, like that's amazing. And you know, you just can't, even though we do a million shows, but it's true, you just never, you know, you never know. So you got to always
on the next silent thank yous.
I don't know what that means.
What the hell was that?
I know.
I don't know. What was that?
I don't know. I'll cut it out. Post.
I don't. Mark, I would keep shrinking down and just fucking get out of that room and leave. Holy, the next silent thank yous. What the hell? What is that? I don't even know what that is. Are you going to cut it out?
Oh, you said that the number of people that are thankful but don't say it to us, the silent thank yous. Because every person that comes up to you and thanks you, there's got to be dozens more behind them that are feeling the same.
I worked with a comedian who told me I have to stand outside the comedy club for a half hour after the show. I go, why? He goes, that's the hour of power. The half hour is the power? That makes no sense. You get a half hour. It's the hour of power. He calls it the hour of power. It's a half hour. He goes, that's your hour of power. I go, for what? He goes, that's where corporate gigs, that's where they're gotten. I go, so if I stand outside Comedy Live, I'm going to get corporate gigs? Like, what are you fucking talking? Are you insane? I mean, but that's just his ego. He needs to be out there, and I'll talk to anybody who wants to talk to me, but I'm not going to stand there looking for corporate gigs. I mean, it's insane, you know. But that comedian will go unmentioned. All right.
What's his name?
Mike Marino.
There you go.
Whoops.
Edit. No, edit. Man, you're going to be.
There's a little bit of truth to that.
You're going to be a post-op for a long time.
He sounds like he's really caught up into the salesman part of it. There's a little.
He's very yeah. He's into all that, and I think he wears patches on his pants from pizzerias in Ohio. That they're his sponsors. Okay. So he's got patches. he has sponsors, and I go, why do you have patches on your pants? He looks at me like I'm crazy and goes, sponsors. I go,
Sponsor.
Okay. Mhm.
Hey, Rocky. All right, that's it.
Sounds like he's an exaggerator.
That's the same. Yeah, exactly. It's like Rocky's robe with
Exactly. That's
the
it.
butcher,
Hey,
You get out
you
of it.
guy, you were great. Swing by, we'll give you a free pie. They're my sponsor now. Can I get a patch?
that's it. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I'm good.
So Mark,
Yeah, for my
next,
tuxedo. I'm gonna
Mark,
get
next-
sponsored by, you know,
your next ship. You said
Harmony.
Harmony. I was just on it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, who's the cruise director there now?
That's a good. Oh, it was Jesus Christ. I don't know.
Because
I
last
can't-
time I was there was Dan Whitney.
No, not Dan, the party man.
It wasn't him and then another guy, Arpin, Jeffrey Arpin.
Jeff Arpin. He's there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Jeff was there
Yeah.
because Party Man had it earlier this year. I was doing a bunch of weeks there, and then the last week that I was on, then Arpin took over, and that was my first time working with him. And he's a name
Really?
that we've all heard for years and years and years, but I'd never worked with him before.
Yeah,
So-
he was a guy. He thinks he's a comedian, and he years ago, the story goes, he would watch the comedians on Royal and then be like, "Well, I can do that."
Ah,
Yeah,
So he would go out and get laughs before hosting. So
but
he
was he
was in
doing
his
his
head.
own jokes or was he doing the other comedians' jokes? Because I've witnessed
He was
that.
doing, but he was doing material for his own material, but it was all based on the ship and where to eat and go to the gym
Right.
or whatever. But then he got in his head, I'm a comedian. So he was in Vegas. The story goes, I could be, some of it's off. But one of the ship comics was working. He went to see him, say at the Laugh Factory, whatever, and said, "Do you want to do some time?" And Jeff was like, "Yeah." So he did like 5 or 10 on a regular show, a regular comedy show in Vegas, not as the cruise director, just
Right.
as a guy. And
it's
he realized I'll be a cruise director from now on.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very funny with that stuff. I there in my show, I had the pleasure of working with opening for Phyllis Diller for years.
Oh, geez.
So when Phyllis retired, she did. I actually heard it on the Comedy Channel on Sirius, and she's tossing a line, and she's still alive but retired. And I called her and I said, "May I use this line?" And she said, "Absolutely, I'd be honored. Take it." And then there's another line in my show in my longer show that I use a line that Tennessee Ernie Ford used to use. And he's the one that found me in the service and gave me my start and all that kind of stuff. And so
Really?
my connection with Ernie and Diller is I wouldn't be here if it wasn't, especially for Ernie. I would not be sitting here if it wasn't for Ford. And so,
Wow.
so there's a line about beer that he used to toss about Billy Beer when Jimmy Carter was still President Billy Beer. So I called and I said, "May I use that?" I asked his manager because Ernie had already passed. And Jim said, "Yes, do it." So then with Diller, the other line I asked her about is, "Absolutely, I'd be honored." I used those lines in my show on a princess ship several years ago. And the cruise director came up to me, who shall remain nameless, and said, "I can't believe you're using those cruise ship lines." And I said, "I'm sorry, what?" And he said, you're using cruise ship lines." I said, "Listen, pal, this one is Phyllis Diller from 1966. This one is Tennessee Ernie Ford from 1982. And I have permission to use both lines." And then I popped him at the end. And this is okay. If any cruise directors are listening, forgive me, but I'm going to say it. I looked at this guy and I said, "And let me take this one step further. There's not a cruise director walking that has ever written a joke of their own." And this guy looked at me like like, "Oh my God, this blasphemy." And it's just like, no,
Yeah.
I've watched it since 1977. I've watched it. God love them, cruise directors. They're trying to get jokes. And
The
they're
handbook.
from the best of the best of the best.
Right.
Then they get the thing where, "Oh, I can be a stand-up." No,
right.
you can't.
I haven't seen that in a long time, but I saw someone. He goes, "I'm going to do about 10 minutes up front and then bring you up." And then he does 25 of the best of all my
Exactly.
comedians
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
and kills.
Yeah.
and
Right.
kills. And I'm like,
Yeah.
he just ripped off like 5 comics I know, and I go up there,
Yeah, it's just it's hilarious sometimes,
enraged,
you know.
flustered.
Yeah, but that guy you're talking about, Al, I think that's the guy who would do his own late show too. And the
Well, there
comedian.
used to be a cruise director here. He's not here anymore.
That's what I'm saying. That guy would do his own late night show.
Yeah.
He would have the night off. Then he sold a CD after the show. Oh,
I know what you're talking about. I can't
and
remember.
I'm sitting in the crowd, literally going, "That's Tony Darrow. That's that's Phil Palisol. That's."
Yeah.
I was naming the comics. I'm like, the whole thing's stolen, and he
No,
would sell
him.
CDs.
No, he was known for cherry picking. There's a
Totally.
cruise director who was a former singer, and she
Yeah.
would go up after the singer, the guest entertainer, singer, and go, "Let's hear it for so and so. Let's hear it for Mark. Unbelievable! Oh yeah!" So I'd like to do a song, and then she'd do 1 or 2 songs after the show, after 45, 50, and we're all like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
That was the Jeff Arpin thing too. He would, after the comic would do 45, he would come out and do 10 or 15 because now the crowd's been laughing for 45 minutes. He'd come out and he's like, "I'm fucking as good as that guy." And it's like,
When I
no,
worked with Jeffrey,
no.
to his credit, he didn't do that. He actually, because I have the bio for the intro and say, pick whatever you want out of this, just don't say my name because it's pre-recorded. And
Mhm.
Jeff said, to his credit, he said, "How about I just stay off stage and read this? I don't need to go up there. I don't need." And I went, "Attaboy. Good
There
for
you go. He's changed. Yeah. He's definitely the Arpin now is not the guy from 20 years ago. He's a different guy.
I never
Like,
worked with him back then, but it's
he's cool. Yeah.
and
I had a good week.
within the singer little clique, if it is, or the group. There's a lot of the kids that unfortunately for them is they have just stepped out or they're stepping out of a production show. They're the feature in the production show, and then they come back later in the cruise and they are given their own show, their own night.
Right.
And they several of them that I've seen on Facebook, oh, it's standing ovations, and we just did this and just did this, and I'm just my attitude is like, honey, if you brought that act out cold, half the room would be gone by the time you're done. So you have the benefit of the fact that everybody on the ship, and there are other lines, not Royal Caribbean, they don't do it here, but other lines let their production singers step out and do their own thing. And it's just, you have the talent. There's no doubt about it. You can sing, but that doesn't have a show.
Right.
Without the benefit of everybody knowing who you are and the older crowd that think of you like their granddaughter, grandson, he's so sweet, she's so sweet. You bring that act out alone, cold like we do, you're going down, Jack. Maybe 6 months from now or a year from now,
Right.
step up there and do it clean. But right now, you're not even close.
No. I think just anyone other than if it's you or someone I know, but this standing ovation shit people are posting. It's like, no, I've seen you. You don't get, and if you get them like that, the people get them all the time. They're not posting about them all the time.
No,
you know what I mean? It's these other people like, I got a standing O. It's like, did you really get a? I've seen
I
you.
I was in that one ship with that one guy who said, I got another standing O. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You did my joke. You realized you got flustered. You were a mess. You broke out in a sweat. And
in front of you. Jesus.
And they just went like,
well, I just saw a video from another singer that was someplace else, and he posted this where he's doing some song, whatever it is, but the people are, he's doing Happy or something like that, and he's got him up, sing it with him, and then in the middle of the thing, he says, "Thank you, good night." And they walks off, but they were already there.
And he goes, I got a standing ovation.
That doesn't count.
It's hilarious to me. I mean, I specifically told the lighting guys here this week, do not bring the lights up at the end of the show. Don't do it. That's a show business trick number 102. And I said, if I'm going to get them, I'm going to get them because I earned it. And I want them to stand, but I want them to stand in the dark. I don't want them to stand because you the lights up, and it's just like, hey, if you earn it, that's one thing. but I also turn around and tell people there's enough cheese in my act. I'm a walking block of Velveeta, man. I'm using every trick I know how to use.
Yeah, but again, that's a pro.
From step 1 to step 5. Hopefully they're coming up, but they're coming up because we planned it that way. You know, that's what it's supposed to do. They're supposed to come up when you finish. You don't have to turn the lights up to get them to go. You don't have to do. I worked with a singer out here once. It was actually celebrity. And this kid actually came out after he finished, and the reaction was good. It was, nice. No, a couple, 2, 3 people coming up. Mm-hmm. He came out, he did a false tag. He came back out and he did a song that he wrote called Stand Up. And he gets them all to stand.
What's the point? I don't understand the song.
Stand up, da, da. And then he walks off the stage and posts on Facebook, got another standing ovation.
Yeah.
You really did you?
That's it. I remember starting on cruises. I worked with Norm Crosby. Remember Norm?
Absolutely.
And he was great. But he would get a standing O. But I was always like, does that count? Because he would tell the crowd, and he was doing great. And he would go, you don't have to give a performer a standing ovation. You don't have to do it. But it really is the nicest thing you can do. It really is.
Yeah.
And then he does this. Then he did a song, and it was a schmaltzy song. So when he ended, everybody's like, well, we should stand. He said so.
Yeah.
So I'm having a drink with him the next night, and he's like, very happy about the 2. And I remember I was a young guy, and I was like, I don't know if that counts. I got to be honest. Like, I don't think that one. You kind of asked for it. You know what I mean? But he knew all the tricks. He knew the tricks.
Exactly.
And then he got annoyed with me because I didn't end with a song. He said,
"Really?
What are you doing?" He goes, "You should end with a song." And I go, "I don't sing." And he goes, no, but he goes, comedians, you use the band, open the curtain, have the full orchestra, and then you sing a song, they're all on their feet.
Yeah.
I go, I don't sing.
Yeah, Yakov Smirnoff did that with us when we were in Atlantic City with him. Yeah. He wanted to sing a song, and he came to us. We're playing a Tropicana, I think it was a Trop. And he's, we're with him for like 2 weeks. And he comes like halfway through the first week, and he's coming to us going, because he doesn't sing worth a lick, but he's turning around saying, I really want to put a song in there. And I looked at him and said, why?
Yeah,
you don't need it, man. They're already standing for you. We're opening for you as a letter.
They're coming to see him as a comedian.
Everybody's here to see you. You can say thank you, good night. Oh, what a country, and they're going to come up. But he felt he had to sing, and I just went, don't do that.
Right.
Dylan never sang a goddamn song. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Is he still in the business, or did he retire?
I think he's last night. It's got that theater in Branson, right? Wasn't it Branson?
Bazillions in Branson, for God's sake. For him.
Pre-COVID, though, right?
Oh, way before.
No, he did. Actually, he was in Sarasota recently at McCurdy's. He did a one night, 2 shows, one night, sold them out. So still has that, Sarasota age. They all remember him, and they'll come out on a Wednesday to see him. Sure.
The smart thing is to do one night, one show.
That's right.
Don't try to
get out.
Get out.
Don't.
Yep. Yep. But that was the easy, not easy, but those are better in comedy. You could have like a catchphrase and have a career.
Yeah.
Once he said, "What a country," everyone.
What a country.
The next day, everybody was saying it and going, "Who was that guy? That guy was funny."
Yeah.
You have what a country. But Al, what's your catchphrase?
Restless legs. Restless legs.
Get out of here. That's a bit of mine, Mark. That I know he keeps that's it. There he goes.
I think we're going to wrap it up from here, folks.
Oh, no, we're just getting started. Come on.
We're going to have part 2 next week. Now we have another special guest. Let's see if Al can guess who it is.
It's Mark Preston.
It's Mark Preston.
Oh,
there you go.
Hey, Al.
Good to see you, Mark.
How long have you been smoking cigars? Where did you get started?
I got started in the U.S.
We're done.
Damn it. Just cooking.
Nice. We cut Romas off. Well, if you made it this far into the podcast, you get to hear some of the outtakes from the very beginning when we were trying to bring Mark on and trying to fool you, the audience.
What happened now?
Fuck it. It's me.
What happened?
It's
what
Mark
happened?
Preston. Hi, how are you?
Go back.
Oh.
I missed my cue. Sorry. Third take. There's for your edit.
Here we go.
3. There you go.
So this is a segment called Guess the Guest.
It's Mark Preston.
Oh, you mother. All right, take 4. This is the keeper.
It's Mark Preston.
Ah, yes.
Four.
Let's just keep doing this for an hour. I'm going to nail this thing right now.
You're
Here we
gonna
go.
nail it.
Here we go. Take 5.
Okay, so on this show,
It's Mark Preston.
it's Mark Preston.
I can't work with this man.
Clue is your cue.
Christ.
Mark-
Podcast, we can't
Mark,
get
can
it
you
off the
take it
ground.
from not breathing again from the top?
Is it Mark Preston?
I didn't give you your clue yet.
I see him in the fucking mirror next to you. You have a mirror, and he's sitting on the bed. I'm looking right at Preston.
Mark, come on down.
Mark Preston, everybody.
Wow, you're good.
Where's Paul Bowling?
That's the best opening we've ever had. Jesus.
So long, Mel. Have a good trip.
Iceberg, dead ahead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series.
This is the 2 Owls, 1 Pod podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Go to patreon.com/forward2dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.